Hello everyone, this is Bremster and today I am coming to you with the 69th puzzle for my channel. This is a puzzle that I actually created for a different event. This is a puzzle that was created for the 69th stream on Rangsk's channel, but the timing is such that this video is going to come out after Rangsk's 69th stream, so I'm going to be releasing this as also my 69th video. This is a puzzle called Walk Without Rhythm. And this is a puzzle I created for a friend of Rangsk, who is also the moderator of his live streams, a gentleman by the name of Wyrm. And yes, that is a pun. Walk without rhythm and you won't attract the worm. So this is a puzzle themed around the number 69 and the fact that 69 is a symmetrical number, and the fact that if you rotate the number 69 upside down, you get a symmetrical, the number is still 69. So what I did is I created a puzzle that has that quantity or that quality. So this is a grid that if you were to take the grid and you were to print it out and you were to turn the piece of paper upside down, the puzzle would be exactly the same. It is identical if you rotate the grid 180 degrees. So it is a fully symmetrical grid, and yet it solves uniquely. So I will explain the rules of this puzzle, and then feel free to grab the links below and attempt the puzzle yourself, or print it out and attempt to do it on paper. So yeah, that's the puzzle that I have set. So this puzzle does use a special rule set, which is similar to one of the ones I've used before in order to make this work. So let me explain the rules and then we will go on. So this is Walk Without Rhythm. It has a few rules, some of which you will recognize, and I have modified the way that they display, which you will see. So first of all, normal Sudoku rules. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Second of all, we have thermos. So along thermos, digits must strictly increase from the bulb to the tip. So whatever goes in this cell must be higher than this cell must be higher than this cell must be higher than this cell. We have killer cages, and normally with killer cages what you would have is the digits must sum to the digit in the top left corner of the cage. But I have modified this so that instead of the digit being in the top left corner of the cage, which would mean that the grid would not be identical if you rotated it, I have put grey digits in the middle of some cells. And this cage is a 6 and this cage is a 9. So if you were to grab this and rotate it, then this would become the 6 in this position and this would become the 9 in this position. But this is a 6 cage, this is a 6 cage, this is a 6 cage, this is a 9 cage, this is a 9 cage, and this is a 9 cage. We have some ratio dots, which means that these two cells must have a ratio of 1 to 2 and these two cells must have a ratio of 1 to 2. And finally, we have purple cages, which are Wyrm cages. These are similar to the bounty cages that I've used in the past, but a little bit different. So what will happen is the digits we will place in these cages will point to other cells in the grid. So let's, for example, say we were to put a 6, we're ignoring the thermos. Let's say we were to put a 7 and an 8 into here. Now, these are going to point to the cells in the box. These are going to point to boxes 7 and boxes 8. So the digits you put into these cells or into these cages will indicate which boxes of the grid you are pointing to. So this points to box 7. And the cell it points to in box 7 is the cell in box 7 that would be in the same position if box 7 was turned upside down. So this is pointing to box 7, and instead of pointing to that cell, it's pointing to that cell. This is pointing to box 8, and instead of pointing to that cell, it is pointing to that cell. And what it is saying is these two cells, if this was a 7 and 8, would need to be 6 and 9. So this is saying that the two these need to point to a 6 and a 9, and these need to point to a 6 and a 9 with whatever goes into them, using those rotational rules. So if this was a 3 and a 8, then that would be box 3, that wouldn't be that cell but that cell, and in box 8 it wouldn't be that cell, and it would be those two cells would need to be a 6 and a 9. That's how the rule works. And with that, this puzzle should be solvable. And I need to scratch my ear. So now we want to attempt to solve this. Let's give this a shot. As I said, feel free to try below. So the first thing we can notice is we've got some thermos with some crop key dots at the end. So what can these be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these can be 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, but 5, 7, and 9 cannot go on crop key dots because their ratios don't work. 2.5 and 10 don't work. 3.5 and 14 don't work, and 4.5 and 18 do not work. So we must put 6 and 8 at the end of these. The ratios of 6 and 8 can only be 3 and 4, so we've got a 3-4 pair already. Now we can work our way down these thermos. So the maximum on these is 7, the maximum on these is 6, the maximum on these is 5, the maximum on these is 4. So these, but we can't put 4 into those, so the maximum on these is actually 2. So these are a 1-2 pair because of the 3-4 not being available. These then jump up, these can't be 2, 3, 4, or 5. These can be 4, 5, or 6. These can be 5, 6, or 7, except they can't be 6. Can't be 6 because there's already a 6 in the row. We've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We put a 9 in the middle. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to put a 7 and an 8 in here. So we've already got some eliminations. So one of these is going to be 8, or one of these is going to be 6, which will have to take it to 5, which will have to take it to 4, which will have to take it to 3, but it can then go down to anything. So one of these is going to be a 4, 3. Three, 4, 5, 6. One of these is going to be 3, 4. So the other one is going to have to be 5, 6. So because one of these is going to be 3, 4, the other one is going to be 5, 6. We know that we can't have a 4 in the middle. So we've got 3, 5 and 4, 6. And that's just because of the way that the thermo works. One is going to have to go 6, 5, 4, 3, which is going to force 4, 3, which is going to force 5, 6 onto the other one. Up here, we've got 1, 2, 3 in a 6 cage, and we've got 1, 2, 3 in a 6 cage. I have not done this puzzle in a long time, so I do not remember how it works. But I think this is where the trick can come in. So we need to put a 6 or a 9 where this points. But if we use this as a 1, this is going to point to this cell, which can't be a 6 or a 9. So this has to be the 2, this has to be a 1. This points to that cell, so that has to be a 6 or a 9. That points to that cell, which has to be a 6 or a 9. And those are those two being pointed to. Now we've got these 4 6s to look at. One of these is going to have to point to a 6, and one of them is going to have to point to a 9. And we can actually do some thinking about this. If this is a 6, this becomes a 4. And if this is a 6, or if this is a 4, this will be a 6. Sorry, if we want the 4 has to point to the 9, because if this is the 4 and we make the 4 point to the 6, then this will be a 4, this will be a 6, and this will be a 6. That doesn't work. And similarly, if we make the 4 point to a 6 from here, 4 will point to a 6 and we'll have 2 6s. So we know whichever one is the 4 is going to point to the 9. So we have a 9 in one of those two spots. And whichever one is the 6 is going to point to the 6. So we have a 6 in one of those two spots. So that's the 8. And we know that it has to run down 8, 7, 6, 5. So this will be the 3, 4, 5, 6. This gives us the 4 and the 3 because of the ratio dots. This takes 3 out of those and puts a 3 in there. It takes 3 out of those and puts a 3 in there. And we get some 1, 2 pairs. Trying to remember how this puzzle works. So we now know that this is the 6 and this is going to point to the 6. So the 6 is here, not here. The 4 is going to point to the 9. And this makes this the 6 and this the 9, and this actually works now. So 4 is pointing at 9, 1 is pointing at 6, 2 is pointing at 9, and 6 is pointing at 6. So that all works, and these cages have now been fulfilled. What is next? It has been a very long time since I've solved this puzzle. I think I submitted this 5 weeks ago. So yeah. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7, and 8. Can't put 4 down here. So we now have a 7, 8 pair, and there must be a 4 here. This is now actually a known triple. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 1, 2, 3 over here. 1, 2, 3. This is a 5 and a 9. This is a 1, 2, 3. And this is a 9 cage. So So this is a 6 cage. A 6 cage must be either 1, 5 or 2, 4, because it can't be 3, 3. We can't put a 5 there, and we can't put the 1 or 2 in here. So this has to be a 4. This has to be a 2. So these are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is no 9 there. There's no 5 there. This is a 7, 8. This is 1, 2, 7, or 8. Can't put 1, 2 that far down along a thermo. So there's a 7, 8 pair. So I can take the 7, 8 out of here. And this is the 1, 2. These two will be the same. And one of those. Well, that 2 looks back, making that a 1 and that a 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The minimum this can be is 4. So, and the maximum this can be is 8. So 8, 7, 6, 5. So this is 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. That can't be a 6 though. So that's the 7, that's the 8, which makes that the 7, and I can take 7 out of all of those. There's no 7 there. If we look at row 9 is actually interesting. You can't put 9 into a 9 cage, and there are 2 9s looking at those 2 cells. So this has to become a 9. There is no 9 there. Now we can look at where 6 goes in column 1. None of these cells can be 6, so this becomes a 6. These are now 1, 2, 4, and 5. 6, 7, and 8 cannot go into this 9 cage. So I can't use 1, 8. I can't use 2, 7. I can't use 3, 6 because there's 2 6s looking down into it. So this becomes a 4, 5. This is now a 3 or a 6 because it sees 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. This 9 cage now can't have a 4 in it, so it must have a 1 in it, and it must be 1, 2, 6 or 1, 3, 5. So this is a 9 cage. If this was 1, 2, it would be 1, 2, 6, so that doesn't work. So there must be a 3 in here. There's no 3 in here. There must be a 3. If it's 1, 3, then that's 4 and I need another 5. If it's 2, 3, then that's 5 and I need another 4. That gives me a 4, 5 pair in the column. I feel like I'm running out of options. I really don't remember what I did. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually going to do this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because this can't be 5 or 9. This can't be 6. Now this can't be 5 and this can't be 9 because I could go something low and then 5, 6, I imagine. Well, this can't be 6, so this is 7, 8, or 9. It can't be 7 either. This is 8 or 9. So it can't be 6 or 7, and it couldn't be 5 because I couldn't have anything lower than it. That 9 means that there's no 9 there. That's now the 9. 9 must... I can't put 9 in this box either, so 9 is in one of those two. This is a 5, 8 pair. So maybe these are where the restriction is. I don't mind good living thermos. So this could be anything as low as a 7, which is not great. 7, 5, can't be 4, 3, it can't be 2. So it's 3, 5, 7. So this can be 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Ouch. What has I missed? Is it the fact that these are restricted to 1, 2, 3, and 6? That can't be 3. I'm sure it's something simple because I do not remember this being this challenging at this point. This is 7, 8, 9. Oh, I can't put 8 there. So I can't put 7 there. I can't put 5 or 6 there. And that's because of that 8. That restricts that a lot more. If this is 1, 3, then this is 5, this is 3, this is 2, this is 1, and I'd have a 1, 2... Oh, hang on, this is a 9 cage. In a 9 cage with a 1, I'm either using 1, 2, 6 or 1, 3, 5. Either way, there is 2 low digits in here. So I must have 2 low digits in this cage. I can't put and by low I mean 1, 2, or 3. So it's 1, 2, 6, or 1, 3, 5. Two of the digits in here are from 1, 2, or 3. If I put them all both here, this column is broken because I've got 4 cells from 1, 2, 3. So this is not the 6. But I do have one digit from 1, 2, or 3 in here. It could be here, it could be here, I'm not sure. But there is one in here. And that means I've got a virtual 1, 2, 3 triple. That's a 5. That's an 8. That's a 5. That's a 4. Now I need 5 here now, so this is actually a 2, 3. This is a 1. This is not a 1. This is a 2, 3. That 4 looks down, making that a 5 and that a 4. This 5 means that is not a 5. That's also not a 5. This is the only place in this row I can put a 5 now. That 5 looks down, making that a 9 and that a 5. I cannot put a 5 in this cage, so it must be 1, 2, 6. So there's no 3 in here. This is 1, 2, 6. I can't put a 1 down here anymore. This is the 1 because of the 1 I placed there. So this is a 2, 6 pair, which makes this a 3. This is not a 6 anymore because of the 2, 6 pair. It's also not a 9. This is a 7, 8. That's not the 9, that's the 9. We've got a 6, 7, 8 triple along the top, but this must become a 7 or an 8 to complete the column. This must be a 1 because of the 1's looking up into the box. This must be a 2 because of the 2's looking across, and this becomes a 6, 7, 8, and it can't be a 6 or an 8. This is a 7, this is a 6, this is an 8. That looks down, making that a 7. 1, this, oh, that 2 makes that a 3 and makes that a 2, and now these are known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 4, 9, which is not resolved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, and 8, which is resolved. That's 8, that's 3. That's not giving me much. 7, 8 is still not resolved. However, I can look, this 6, 8, that makes that 7. This is now known to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's 3, 4. That 4 there resolves the 3 and the 4. This is known to be 1, 6, and 8. That can't be a 6. That can't be a 1. Getting there. There's no 1 here. We have a 2, 6 pair along the bottom, making that a 3. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I've missed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in here. 5, 6, 7, and 8. That can't be 7 or 8, so this is a 5, 6. That can't be 6. Because of that one. There is something simple I am missing. That 8 is looking down, making that 4. This is not 4. This is a 7, 8 pair. That 5 is looking down, making that 4. I can take 4 out of there. There must be a 5 in here. The 4 is looking over, making that 9 and making that 4. I've got to be nearly done. 1, 6, 7, no, 1, 7, 8, and 9. Well, the only place I can put 9 is there. So this is 1, 7, and 8, and it sees 7 and 8. So this is 1, this is 8, this is 7, this is 8, this is 6, this is 1. That 8 now looks over, making that 7 and making that 8. That 1 means that that is not 1. That 6 is looking over, making that 2 and that 6. That's probably been there for a long time, which makes that 1 and that 2 and that 1, which means that is not 1. This is a 2-5 pair. That 2 looks back, making that the 5 and that the 2. The 5 means that is not the 5. The 8 looks down, making that the 7. There is also a 6, which makes that the 5. And this is now just a known triple. This is the only place for the 2. I now need to put a 6, which goes there, and I finish off with an 8, and that finishes the puzzle. This was not designed to be a very hard puzzle. This was designed to be a puzzle that you could grab and you could rotate 180 degrees, and it was still uniquely solvable. I'd never seen that done before, and I wanted to see if I could do it. This took me a long time to set. I hope you gave that a try. Congratulations to Rangsk on your 69th stream, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with your solving.